Hello, welcome to this video. You are watching DevX tips, and the tip for today is how to perform Canary deployments using Istio and Visual Studio Code. Last week I showed to you how to perform blue-green deployments using just pure Kubernetes, and then I showed to you how to perform blue-green deployments using Istio. But let's take a look here. If we decide to use just pure Kubernetes to perform Canary deployments, that's really hard because the Kubernetes service will always perform a load balance using 50% for each version. But with Istio, that becomes really easy because you can choose the weight for each version. And that's what we will do, writing Istio rules. To write that rule, I will open here Visual Studio Code and then install a plugin from my friend Alex Soto, which wrote a nice plugin. His nickname is Lord of Jars, that provides snippets that will make our usage really easy. So now that's installed, let's write our first rule. I will write here the destination rule, destination rule.yaml. Now I can write a destination rule for which microservice. I have here two microservices running. Hello world, written in Java, that calls Olá, which is hello in Portuguese, written in Node.js. For Olá, I have version 1 and version 2. So I will write a rule for my Olá microservice. So the name is Olá, in the namespace microservices, and the host is Olá. Now the labels, let me show to you the labels that I have here. If I run kubectl get pods, the namespace microservices, and ask to show labels, we can see here that I have label version 1 for Olá and version equals v2 for Olá v2. So let me use those labels here. Version v1, I will call this subset as version v1, and the version v2 I will call it version v2. Now I will write my virtual service. So code virtual service.yaml and use a snippet for Canary. So my virtual service will be called Olá in the namespace microservices. The host is Olá, and then every time that I access Olá, 9% of the time it will fall on the host Olá with the version v1. 10% of the time it will fall on v2. Now I can apply both rules. So let me write here kubectl apply my file destination rule and my file virtual service. Now that I applied both files, you can see here that most of the time version v1 will be replied v2, now there will have a bunch of v1s. Of course, we can change the weight by modifying this file. Let's say that I want 20% of the time for version 1, and now 80% of the time it will be version 2. I just need to apply that rule again, those files, and we'll see that v2 now takes much more load than v1 because 80% of the time it will fall on v2, and once in a while we will see v1. And to make it easy, another tip for you is that you can use the Kiaki. So if you open the Kiaki console, which is installed as part of Istio, you can come here on services, and for this service you will see a virtual service called Olá. You can open and see here that 20% of the time it will fall on v1 and 80% will fall on v2. But you can come here on services, where you have the virtual service, the destination rules. You can delete the rules that you provided and make Kiaki write the rules for you, but by choosing this option here, create weighted routing. So here you can choose the weight for each route. Let's now make v1 much more available than v2. Let's create that rule. We can see now that v1 will receive much more requests than v2. And now let's change that, let's update this weighted rule to make V2 much more available than V1. Let's update the rule. There it goes. V2 is now receiving much more than 70% of the requests. I hope that you enjoyed those tips, and if you want more tips like this, subscribe to this channel and also follow me on Twitter. See you in the next video.